Just check out that valve block. Isn't that the coolest valve block you've seen? This trumpet itself is definitely one of the coolest trumpets we've had in the shop. And I'm going to tell you about it in just a bit, so stay tuned. Thanks. Hey everybody, it's Trent Austin from Austin Custom Brass. I hope you're doing well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button wherever it might be to stay up to date with us with all of our cool show and tell videos like this one. I mean, look at that trumpet. It's unreal, right? Space age trumpet with, you got it, Adams, what they call their ergonomic valve block right there. So it's slanted, like the old recording. You see how the second valve, first valve, second valve, third valve, see how that's slanted? And then it's also got the radial 2-degree angle. So both of those classic horn designs, Adams incorporated into this particular trumpet. The A8 series has a threaded integrated mouthpiece system. Now, it does take quite some time to take the mouthpieces out, just to show you. So there you go. The mouthpiece threads in and it 0 gaps. And we make these mouthpieces for these horns. And you could order any one of our standard mouthpieces. And we've also done copies of other mouthpieces if you want. This was just refinished at the factory and it's just gorgeous. It does have a few little things. We put a new bell on the horn because the previous bell had been damaged. And also we asked them for some revised bracing contacts between the bell and lead pipe. So it's quite robust now, very strong. The first generation of A8s, they were a little weaker. This has that fully ovated slide, and of course that beautiful bend of the back bell. So while it's not a new horn, I love that. I love the polished, by the way. I'm sorry, I've got to interrupt that. The polished accents versus, right? The polished versus that brushed. This is a gold brass bell, I do believe. Yes, it's gold brass, and it does have that large flare. It's the largest flare that Adams makes, and this is probably a little bit over 5.5 inches in terms of the bell diameter. Yeah, it's just a beautiful horn. It's so back to that. It's not new, but it's not in. I don't want to sell it as a new horn because new A8 ergos are around $6,300 in the U.S. Just to give you a heads up. This one will be priced much lower. But it's just gorgeous. I love the buttons. No other company makes their buttons like that. I mean, yeah, Olds made it, but they didn't make both. Selmer made it, but they didn't make that. So it's super cool. You heard a little bit at the beginning. It's far more versatile than you might think. It has a beautifully rich sound, but it can be pretty bright. It's kind of a shock how bright this trumpet actually can get. So, and I think a lot of it has to do with this twin-tubed solid nickel silver lead pipe. So that does affect that. Let me play a little bit. Of course, the audio you hear on these clips, completely raw, unedited. It's just straight from the microphone into the camera. very efficient, very targeted because of the sleeved lead pipe. Intervals are quite, it's almost like, if you think about the overtone series on most trumpets, as the more you ascend, the targets seem to get a little smaller. And it's typical. I mean, that's just the nature of the harmonic series on the trumpet. This trumpet feels a little bit bigger. Now, it's not a humongous difference, but there is a difference. If you compare this versus an A4 trumpet, there's a difference, no doubt. So as you ascend, and I'll turn off, switch mics here. As you ascend, it just feels like it's much more stable on that. You're not going to be like, oh, I might hit the B flat or I might hit the D. It feels much more stable. Now, I have a pretty good experience with the A8. My last CD, oh my gosh, it's been so long, I need to record another one. But remember CDs? Those are those weird Frisbee-like things you put, okay, anyways. My last CD I recorded on an A8 Ergo, actually. Not this particular one. Mine was silver plated. The only reason I sold it, and this is a silly reason, but just remember, I make mouthpieces. So, and I like switching mouthpieces. The only drawback with this is that it takes some time. It takes about a minute to take the mouthpiece in and out. And you say, well, why not do quick threads? Well, that defeats the purpose of having it fully integrated, and the stability I just mentioned. It kind of, you don't get it as much. I do know a few other manufacturers that do have quick threads on their mouthpiece system, and it's very great. But that's the way Adams has set this up. And honestly, the horns that we sell to customers that are A8s, the person uses one mouthpiece. I, on the other hand, because I make mouthpieces, I change mouthpieces like, I change my hairstyle. Oh, wait. No, never mind. So let me play a little bit more talking about that target, the concept of the targeting. And the mouthpiece I'm playing, this is probably important information, is a Mount Vernon 3C, so it's a pretty deep mouthpiece. For me, I play a Mount Vernon 3C rim now, but I play a V shape, which is a little bit more efficient, but I don't have it in the threaded setup just yet. And because it's gold plated, I get a ring because I'm allergic to silver and gold. Very easy. So that's it. I mean, did I mention the valves? Did I mention how awesome these valves are, folks? The Adams A8 Ergo with a little bit of gunk there, sorry. Adams A8 Ergo for sale at ACB. Check out the link in the description. And if you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach us at info@austinCustomBrass.com. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for your great support of the shop. We couldn't do it without you. And take care. Keep on keeping on.